This is Mark Regan from Disability Law Center of Alaska. This is the Medicaid waiver training. This is Section J on rights and responsibilities. When you get into the Medicaid waiver, you have some rights and you have some responsibilities. Let's start with the responsibilities. There are a couple of very important things. The most important thing probably is that you need to provide to SDS and to your care coordinator information about you and about the person you're helping that will enable them to understand what the best Medicaid waiver plan is for them. So if you have medical information, you need to make sure that SDS and the care coordinator can find out about that. If you have other information about services, you need to supply it. Now, the question is, isn't that giving up our privacy? Is that giving up the privacy of our family? The answer is yes, but it really turns out that turning over information about the person is something that you really need to do. You need to do it for all sorts of reasons, one of which is in order to get a waiver service plan that actually helps someone, they need to know about you. And so that's why you have the responsibility to give them information. The other responsibility you have is to select a care coordinator and to cooperate with the care coordinator. That doesn't mean that anything the care coordinator says goes. It does mean that what you need to do is to have somebody who can go to bat for you as far as getting services. And the care coordinator is very important in that regard. So in order to select a care coordinator, you can go from a list, you can talk with people about who's done a good job as care coordinator, but you do have to select one. So those are your basic responsibilities. Now, what are your rights? The right is, if you qualify for the waiver, that there should be a waiver service plan that includes a number of different things about you based on person-centered planning, and that the system is supposed to put that together. You're supposed to sign it. You need to have the right to approve it or disapprove it or make changes in it. And then if you get into difficulties, and part of this training is about difficulties that you can get into. If you get into difficulties, you have a right to notice and you have a right to the opportunity to be heard. Let's talk about disputes. If you get into a dispute, you have the right to appeal from a decision. You have a right to notice that tells you what the decision is. You have the right to appeal. And in different sections of this training, we'll talk about what your appeals involve, what to do in an appeal, how to get through the appeal, what it is to win an appeal, and how you can enforce a decision. But before we start on that, remember, what you're asking for is a person-centered plan that gives you the right sets of services. The best way to get that, the easiest way to get that, is not to get into an appeal, not to get into a dispute at all. Instead, the best thing to do is for you and the care coordinator to put together a good plan and to propose it to SDS and for SDS to approve it. That saves you a lot of time, that saves you a lot of uncertainty, that saves you from a lot of hassle, and it's the best way to do. So although in sections K and L, we're going to talk about notices and appeals, the best thing to do is to avoid notices and to avoid appeals by actually asking them for something that they're going to give you and to get a good waiver service plan in place. So that's section J on rights and responsibilities in the Medicaid waiver system. The next section will be section K on notices.